Okay. Funny book, Frankenstein. Alright. I guess I'll go first then. Let's add the little critic. I was actually supposed to do the critic this time, unlike last time, where I did it on accident. So, I guess we'll get started with my first passage, which was words of wisdom. Right? So, for context, this is when Victor was leaving his hometown, and he was going back to Geneva.
Of course.
I know, Geneva, like the Geneva Convention. So,
yeah.
So the passage says, the course of the Rhine below Mayence becomes much more picturesque. The river descends rapidly and winds between hills, not high, but steep and beautiful forms. So, what does that mean? Well, I think that means it can inspire the reader by giving them a pleasant description of the landscape and making them want to see it for themselves. Because think about it. Sounds like a cool place, right? And it's real. We know it's real. So what if you wanted to go there?
It kind of reminds me of the Rhineland from history class.
I love the Rhineland. Jacob, you ever been there?
The what?
The Rhineland.
The Rhineland?
The Rhineland.
Oh, the Rhineland. Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like
from the book, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So, I have a little question that goes along with my words of wisdom here. So it says, why would the setting of Victor's departure be important for someone to read?
Well, that's actually a good question, Micah. And I'd have to say, I think it's just important because it's setting a picture to what's going to happen next.
Yeah. I was going to say something similar. Like, it's just going to show what happens next and how this, like, any small, like, event like this goes on to snowball to something bigger.
Very interesting. Okay.
Thank you.
So my next is the description. And if we're being honest, I probably should have switched the description words of wisdom around, but it doesn't matter.
It's okay.
It's alright.
So my description is said by the creation here. And he says, I swear to you by the earth which I inhabit, and by you that made me, that with the companion you bestow I will quit the neighborhood of man, and dwell as it may chance in the most savage of places. So what he's saying in this very descriptive passage is that he wants the other monster to be created, and then he'll leave forever, and he will not do evil things. But so my question about him saying that he won't do evil things is, what are the odds that he act like Victor falls through and gives him the other half, let alone will he actually make good on his promise?
I have something to add after Will responds to this, and I also have something to say, but Will, would you like to go first?
I will go first. Mm-hmm. I think the odds that the other creation gets made is likely. I think it will happen. But once that happens, I do not think that the creation will make good on its promise to go to South America.
Well, challenging your viewpoint here, I'm going to have to say I think it's quite unlikely. Because we've seen Victor, and he doesn't like the monster. Killed his brother. So the odds of him making another one that could kill, like, more people and, more children, and hoping that it comes out better than the last one. He's a smart guy. I don't think he thinks that's gonna happen.
You know what, Jacob? I will challenge you back.
Oh snap! 2 challenges.
Just to the fact that the monster is so much bigger and stronger, you don't think Victor would be scared, if he doesn't do it, then the creation's gonna come after him.
So just clarifying, since the monster's big and brolic, you're saying this can use his physicality.
Yeah, brolic would mean
intimidate. I think that is quite likely. James, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, James and Wesley.
James agrees with what you just said, I think.
Wesley's just gone.
Wesley would challenge that, but he's not here.
Nobody grabbed his reboot card.
No one grabbed his dog tags. Anyway.
Okay, so...
Jacob, you said you had something?
I have this. My first piece of evidence on the bottom of page 128 through 129. It goes something along the lines of Frankenstein's hiding. He's talking about how he moves at night and sleeps during the day, so he doesn't get seen by man. And he says, "Towards the spot where I was concealed, laughing as if she ran from someone in sport." And that mixed with like what was said before and like the entire page before, which I don't want to read. That is basically showing that he shows that's the wrong one. He shows that he realizes that he's taking away the happiness when he kills him, because that's what it says after that roughly. Because on page 131, first line, I gazed on my victim, and yeah, the paragraph before that is, the child struggled and loaded me with epithets which carried despair to my heart. I grasped his throat to silence him, then carried a moment, and he lay dead at my feet. Which I also had, this is another one, and that shows cognizance that he knows what he's doing is wrong, but he's doing it to protect himself. Almost like real world connection here. Darwinism. He's big and strong, and he's protecting himself.
Okay, I do have a...
Darwinism.
Oops, no.
Oh, wait, did you say what is Darwinism?
No, I said that's kind of like Darwinism.
Yeah.
Okay, Jacob, alright, so, just quick question to clarify here.
Okay.
So are you saying the creation is defending himself, or
I'm saying
the child?
Wait, are you saying the child's? What are you saying?
I think the child didn't defend himself very well.
I thought you... Okay, it almost made it feel as though the creation killed the child because he was defending himself.
Yeah, that's roughly what I'm saying, and that's how the creation sees it, at least.
But, like, the creation when he...
I disagree with that.
Yeah, we both disagree.
Would you care to clarify?
No, it was talking about how he was just gonna go get himself a kid, just like pick one up, kidnap one. But then the one kid, William, said that he was whatever his last name was.
I don't remember it either.
It was Frankenstein, I think, still.
Oh, Frankenstein, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's what made the monster super mad, so he just strangled him.
Yeah, true. I'd also like to point out that... So you remember when the creation and Victor first met each other?
Yeah.
The creation says, "Bro, I would destroy you if we fought," kind of.
Yeah.
As a summary of what the conversation was. So.
Well, that shows.
So that shows.
Himself.
I feel like that shows the creation isn't actually afraid, because he knows he'll just win no matter what.
Yeah, I don't see the kid being much of a threat to.
You know what I mean? What's a child gonna do against this 7 foot man?
Tell more people, because it said exactly. I have this also as another one. Right. Sorry. I have what page it's on, but it's somewhere on page 128 where it says, he slept through the night, and just because he didn't want to be seen by man. Because even though he's not afraid of them, he doesn't like being judged. And eventually he is pretty smart, so he would know that if enough of them did something against him, he wouldn't win.
I did not think about it like that.
I agree with that point.
Yeah.
I thank you for your clarification.
You're welcome. So that's why I said he showed cognizance that he knew it was wrong to kill a child, but he did it to protect himself.
Is that your examples, Jacob?
I have a couple more, but I'll have someone else go.
Mrs. Thurm is trying to talk to us.
Okay. That was an incredible POV.
Thank you.
Any more critic work?
Any more critic? I love the critic. Not really. I don't. Sorry, Mrs. Thurm.
Mrs. Thurm, we're trying to record.
Sorry, James and Wesley. Mrs. Thurm is just... she's
JV
just
gang.
being a hooligan.
And JV Gang.
And JV Gang, of course, this is going on my YouTube channel.
Jit is trifling.
Alright, so here we go. Figurative language. Figurative. So, My quote was from page 142. I'm not putting the book back up on the screen. And it says, "A man is blind to 1,000 minute circumstances." Now, literally blind? No.
I think that could be a metaphor.
I agree that it definitely sounds like a metaphor. Because there's no way they're actually... I mean, we do have a blind man in the story, but the average person...
It is on page 142.
Thanks, Jacob. And so I'd like to just say that this quote that I have picked out from the passage shows that people just don't understand how some of their small actions affect the greater good or affect other people they don't know. And it can come back to hurt you.
Cutting in here, I'd say that's like a pretty major microcosm of this book. Another big word. Meaning,
Use that word last time.
I did use that word last time. It's even the book knows, even the book is trying to show that the small details, they all add up eventually.
I think that's actually personification since we're talking about figurative
said.
language. Because that's all the book can actually show us.
Oh, snap.
So clarifying, it's all about figurative language.
Well,
this is the figurative language passage, so I would think
I
so.
would hope so, yeah.
All right, so reel it back in like a fish here. So, question.
Fish and both.
I love fish. All right. What are some things that someone could overlook or be blind to today that might, be similar to the people from this time?
I think there's many a thing. The first thing that jumped into my mind was politics,
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Whatever side you align with, you tend to see everything they do is right and everything the other side does is wrong, instead of just
taking it separately.
Exactly, just thinking about what's best for you and
the others around you.
Exactly.
Start a podcast.
He was on one.
Oh yeah, you were.
I've got some experience.
Famous podcast. We're gonna start one. All right.
But do you have anything else to add to that, Jacob?
I think you stated it very well. Very scholarly.
Hit the nail on the head, Crystal.
I'd say one and done, yeah.
That's a metaphor too, I believe.
Thank you for
that would
defending my speaking time.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I didn't want to take up too much air time, per se.
No, it's totally okay.
We're all big sharers here. Sharing is caring. All right, guys. So my other figurative language was on page 144. And this took me 3 minutes to write here. So the sentence says, "His soul overflowed with ardent affections, and his friendship was of that devoted and wondrous nature that the worldly minded teach us to look for in only the imagination." Very long sentence, but this is
very
also philosophical. Oh, we have a philosopher, not today because they're not here.
Today.
But
it's not very psychological. That's not my job. Well, psychology is.
So this is
reeling it back.
This is when Victor is leaving for Geneva again, and he is thinking about his good friend Clerval. And I said this is a very important passage. Not only is it figurative language, because souls can't overflow with stuff, because they're not a physical, enmity. But I'd say that Victor is showing a side that we don't get to see very often, because he's putting his trust and he is confiding in a friend. He does not have very many of those.
He's actually being nice to Clerval.
True. And I'm wow, we don't get to see him be nice to people. He's usually telling the creation to end its life.
Yeah.
Which is not nice.
I agree, that's not very kind.
I'm
a
not
big
nice.
Clerval. I'm a Clerval stand. Yeah.
Thanks. And so my question is, so we see Victor showing a new side to himself, getting new friends. Is there anything else, maybe not that you'll predict will happen, but something you'd like to see out of Victor that we haven't seen before?
I really want to see him talk to the monster again. I really want to see him actually think about forgiving him for his brother. Because the monster, because the last time Victor talked, he said he knew that he was big in the brain. He had some stuff going on up there. And to see him, it also said that he was super fast, giant, and super strong. Just if he would, talk to him and, maybe try and talk him out of killing children. That'd be pretty good, I'd say.
I agree. We should not do that.
Depends on who you ask, I guess.
Will, do you disagree with that statement?
Which one about it? It's bad to kill children.
Uh,
I do agree.
You
Okay.
agree? Okay,
Okay.
that's good.
But on
The
the other
real
hand-
life connection to Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's a,
I'd
really
say
glad
it
we.
is, yeah.
glad
it's
we
like
brought
it's
that
a great
connection up.
great connection.
Well, can you restate your question?
Oh, okay. So my question was, he's showing a new side of himself. Is there anything else you think would be very interesting to see him, like, reveal about himself?
I hope he gets his stuff together, and then he marries Caroline.
Yeah.
Me and my homies love Caroline.
Nice. All right.
I hope he just I hope he just stops being suicidal.
Yeah.
I don't want him. Remember, suicide is not the
It's
answer.
kind of a mood killer.
It is a permanent
honestly.
solution to a temporary problem.
Thanks.
Great point.
I do have a connection to make that I think would be a very interesting answer to my question.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it, sucker.
All right. So, in the hit show Moon Knight that was just
Hey,
airing.
let's try to watch the spoilers. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well, I will only share the most basic information. So, the main character of the show has a split personality.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Victor himself could also develop a split personality if he's under too much stress to make this new creation or something of the sorts?
I definitely wouldn't. rule
I'm
it
just
out.
spitballing here, but I'm gonna say that he will.
He will. You think
I'ma
he
say
actually will?
I'm gonna say he will,
Hot
but
take.
he's gonna think he's the creation, and then he's gonna go out and put it up with the monster.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is a
That-
hot take.
Muy intelligente.
I was gonna say it's definitely very possible because, in some of the sections we read here, he kind of shows signs of it. Because we'll be reading one page and he's all sad and be like, "What have I done?"
Pretty bipolar.
Yeah, and then the next he'll be like, "Oh well, it's all right. Just heading back to Geneva. It's all right."
He really loves Geneva.
I mean, I've never been there, but I'm sure it's beautiful.
They
Right.
signed stuff there.
They did. Will, you have some words to say,
Oh,
right?
I've got some words for
I'd
you
like
guys.
to have you talk about your words.
One of my words is ardently.
Was that in
That
one of
came
my
up in one
passage?
of Micah's as well.
No way.
It said, the sentence it was in is, "I see compassion in your eyes. Let me seize the favorable moment and persuade you to promise what I so ardently desire," which is the creation talking to Victor. So just before I reveal, you guys have any guesses what that could mean?
Could you say that last part again? He ardently did what?
And persuade you to promise what I so ardently desire.
Deeply, or wholeheartedly.
I'd like to agree with that statement because my sentence saying his soul overflowed with ardent affections, I feel like pretty, deep connections, or at least something of.
Soulful.
I'd say you guys were correct. It's basically very passionate.
Wow.
Mm.
Good word.
And we already kind of answered this question, but I said, once his ardent desire is fulfilled, do you think the creation will go to South America like he said, or will he continue to stick around?
I think Victor doesn't think that, but I think the monster might. Not immediate. He might kill some more children. He has no reason. He has no reason to keep his word, but I think he will.
I'd have to agree that I think he will leave, but he might do some shenanigans before he goes,
Word number 2 is Haggard. My haggard and wild appearance awoke intense alarm, but I answered no question. Scarcely did I speak.
I'd say rough. This is gonna be a real life connection here, like Haggard from Harry Potter.
Mm.
You know how he's a little bit disheveled.
Yep.
He's a big old guy.
Smart. Never seen Harry Potter, but I know who that is. I think kind of not old per se, but kind of just. I mean, the word hag very, it is not a very nice word to say, and it describes people that may or may not look a little older, So I think maybe similar lines being drawn here, some connections being made between the root, but kind of just older, maybe.
Great diction.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
connection I made was talking about how he awoke. Now, I know when I wake up, I'm looking kind of beat up, looking beaten out. So I guess the beat up, kind of run down, and the real definition is looking exhausted or unwell. So it's pretty close.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I think I'll share one word, probably one more. And that word is abject. Not object, abject. And it appeared, but that cannot be. The human senses are insurmountable barriers to our union, yet mine shall not be the subject of abject slavery.
This is not a word.
This one's a tricky one.
I don't think I've ever heard of this word.
I don't think I have either.
Okay, we gotta. All right.
Should we just pause it and then do it after lunch?
Oh, this is our last thing, though.
Yeah, this is really all we have left.
So
I have more notes.
We'll have time.
Okay, I'll just do it quickly.
that's okay. Abject sounds like. They put the word slavery, so we're gonna put like forced or like unwilling.
I'd say like forced as well. Like put aside.
Experienced to the maximum degree.
Oh.
I said, do you think Victor has hit his abject emotion level yet?
I would definitely say yes.
Soon.
I would actually have to disagree and say no, because if he gets another personality, I feel like that would 100% be the most abject emotions he could feel.
Great diction.
Okay, Jacob, I think you should finish us off.
Thank you. I have a couple more. I don't think I can share them all, but top
your
of
favorites.
128, and the sun became heedless. Rain and snow poured around me. Mighty rivers were frozen on the surface of the earth, and was hard and chill and bare. I found no shelter. O earth, how often did I imprecate curses on the cause of my being? So this is the monster. It's getting colder out there. He's trying to find some shelter, and I think this really shows how desperate he's really becoming. Do you have anything to add, Micah?
No, I agree. I think being stuck out in the cold would be kind of unfortunate, and I wouldn't want that for myself, so I can feel why he would not be wanting to do that.
And this is also a part of the reason I said he has no reason to go, but I think he will go.
I like that. I like that quite a bit.
Like a goose migrating to the south in the winter.
Yeah.
Good real life connection.
Thank you. Is that it, boys?
No, I've got.
I've
got maybe one more.
Uno mas.
So, progress notes. This is actually really close to what you said.
Wow.
About Clerval and
No way.
Senor Victor. I said Victor was actually nice to Clerval for once, that's a pretty big. This is in my progress notes and character recommendations. I said for my recommendations is that he keeps being nice to Clerval because, having friends is nice, especially when a 7-foot big monster is trying to kill you. So I'd say, in the end, I think Clerval comes in clutch because Clerval's my boy. But, yeah, I think Clerval's going to be an integral part in this upcoming
you think so?
section. I would say yes.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. All right. Good discussion, boys. Wesley, stop missing discussions.